friend, and welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video I'm going to be taking you guys through a tour of all of the product that I have remaining from my October daily album last year and the year before that. Product that I will likely be using in my album this year. So in front of me I have an iris container. This is just a 12 by 12 normal depth container that is filled with all of my October stuff. My promise to myself at the end of the October season is that everything I have remaining needs to fit in this tub. If it doesn't, then I need to donate some of my product. But the ultimate goal is to use enough of it that what I have remaining fits inside here. So what I'm going to do is get this opened up and start to bring out some of the product to show you guys what I have remaining and what I will be using in my album this year. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, before we start talking about the paper and the products that I have inside of my container, I first want to show you the October themed stamp sets that I have. Now, these I just keep filed away with all of my normal supplies. I don't put these in the bin, but I also don't have very many. So I have the 2018 and the 2019 October Stories by the Month stamp set from Ali Edwards. These are a part of the Story by the Month kit and always have like Halloween and autumn, fall sentiments that work really well in this album. I also have a Recollections stamp set that I purchased last year on clearance, so I have never used it, but it's got a bunch of different sentiments I loved, like Bon Appetit and booze with a wine bottle and a beer bottle or a beer cup in there. Magic Potion, Eat, Drink, and Be Scary. So lots of really cute stamp sets that I'm hoping to use this year. Then I've got one from Joann's. This is from their dollar aisle. I forget what it's called. It's like Miss something and something, Miss Sparkle and Create. I don't know. It's something like that. But it was called Trick or Treat. I got it a couple years ago and super loved this one. It's really cute. And the last one that I pulled to use this year is my 9 3/4 stamp from Kelly Perky. This one is no longer in stock, but I wanted to show you that part of our Halloween celebration every year is watching the Harry Potter movies. So I will definitely be pulling this stamp set out for when we watch those. Okay, so let me put these away and I will start pulling out the actual product. So inside my iris container, I have smaller containers, so containers in containers, but it really does help me to keep things nice and organized, and it makes it really easy to find what I'm looking for when I go back into it a year later. So most of these, in fact, all 3 of these containers I purchased from the Dollar Tree. So all of them were just $1, and they are awesome for storing different types of things. The smallest one here is just a little embellishment box. Let me pop it open. And inside this box, I have things like buttons, some of which are just normal buttons, just in Halloween colors, orange and purple. Some of them are vintage buttons that I've held onto that I thought would be really cool. They almost make me think of like a witchy costume. So I've always had these in this container with the hopes of using them on one of these projects. Then I've got some buttons that I picked up that are Halloween themed. So I actually got a couple of packets of these from Walmart last year. Some of them are just regular Halloween icons like spiders, cats, and skeletons. Some of them are googly-eyed regular icons. There's a cat and a skeleton. And then some of them are googly-eyed zombies, which I thought were really cute. So with these, what I do when I add them into my album is I cut off this button portion right on the back, and then I can adhere it onto my album just like a little piece of ephemera or an embellishment. Now they are bulky, but I don't mind that. I also have some ribbons. This is actually a wristband that we got last year from something, but I liked the colors. It made me think of like caution tape and danger, that sort of thing. I've got some trims like this one, which is a pom-pom trim. I've got a little bit remaining of a star trim that I think was from Studio Calico. And then the last little bits that I have in here are my smaller wood veneer pieces. These are all from Colorcast Designs. These were last year's collection with the some fall circles that just have different fall sentiments on them. And then these ones in here have a couple of like phrases, and then also some other icons. So I have pumpkins and apples and leaves. So these I usually like to put on my album for things like going to the pumpkin patch or making apple cider, those types of things. So that is my first little embellishment box. The next one is a tiny bit bigger, which is good because it can hold some of those bigger embellishments. In here I have a bunch of little felty stickers that I had purchased from, again, the Dollar Tree last year. So things like bats and ghosts and witches' hats. They came with a ton in their packet, so I probably will never use all of these. And it's definitely something I can add in a giveaway pile. So although these little pumpkins are adorable. So there's that. I have a few washi tapes in here, some down here as well. And I love to use these as like trim on the side of my pocket pages, just to add a little bit of decoration to them. And you will definitely see me do that throughout the year this year. I also have some brads in here. Some of them are stars, some of them are just like circle ones, lots of different ones that are fun. I also like the gingham, especially I think there's an orange gingham in here that is really cute. I have a couple sets of sequins in here, again in those holiday colors. I also have some additional ones that are in my like sequin, like big sequin box that I will probably pull out during the season. Then I've got a few wood veneer pumpkins here. These were from the Allie Edwards Story by the Month kit last year and are super duper cute. And then some bigger wood veneer pieces. This is another vintage button that I super love. Like this might be on my intro page or something like that this year. I've kept it for a couple of years and I super love it. So there is that. But these ones are like Boo, Happy Halloween, this glittery pumpkin. These I believe were from the Target dollar aisle a couple years ago. And then I've got stars and hearts and stuff like that in here as well. So those are my little bit larger embellishments. Then I have this 3-compartment tray. Again, I purchased it from the Dollar Tree. In here, I have things sectioned off. I did have this still in the bag. This says October 31st and has a bunch of wood veneer pieces. So this I can actually add into my smaller one. But Color Cast Designs is who I got this acrylic from, and I believe I got it on clearance. So I made sure to snag that when I could, and I added it to this bin after the fact. So this was after October had already ended. So that is definitely going to make its way in this year. I also have this spider. I like adding this on my like flat lay pictures, so I make sure to keep him year to year as well. So yeah, here you can see more of those felties. They're like never ending. We'll set those to the side. So in this bin, I have like shaped ephemera. I have ephemera that's more like tags and sayings. And then I have ones that are cards. So let me just pull them out and we'll flip through really quick. The last couple of years, I used mainly 2 collections. One is, it was called, I believe it was called Happy Haunting by Pebbles. And then the other one was Crate Paper's Hey Pumpkin collection from last year. So you will see a mixture of both of those, like little bits and pieces remaining. So I've got a couple of cards here, and these were from the cut apart sheets, which I love to get in order to use them in these albums. This is a piece of watercolor paper that Izzy and I did together, and I just cut them into 3x4 cards so I could use them in the book because they are also like super cool Halloween colors. And then it's a little something handmade and I love it. This is just a larger title, Keep Calm, Eat Candy. So this one is the Crate Paper collection. Some more from that cut apart sheet. Another Crate Paper. I believe this was from a digital kit from maybe In a Creative Bubble, and another larger tag from Crate Paper. In this one, I can show you real quick. I've got some like banners in here. Another thing that I recommend is if you purchase any Halloween decorations, a lot of times they come with tags that are also pretty cool and Halloween looking. So like this one, I believe was from my coffee canister I bought last year, and I just took it off of there and saved it to use as an embellishment in my book at some point. I do keep some labels, label ephemera in here too, just in those main Halloween colors. Some of these are from digital kits. So I did purchase 2 digital kits last year. Both were from, I believe, the digital press. One was created by Little Lamb Paper Company, and one was created by Rachel Strong. I will link both of those collections down in the description box in case you want to check them out. But I really loved, like, this was from one of the collections. Actually, there it is on vellum, and there it is printed on just regular cardstock. They just had some really fun icons. So there's some more crate paper. That one, this Witch's Brew, was from one of the digital kits. But yeah, so this one, I mostly just keep some of those larger shapes. I love these tags. Those I'm going to use this year because if you guys don't already know, I am going to be focusing on tags a little bit more this year. A couple more of those larger pieces. And then I do have this October puffy sticker from an older Ellie Studio sticker sheet. So that might also be a good title piece as well. And then this last little container has more of the like icon die cuts. So I've got things like this little ghosty in here. This, which I had from a digital file, I cut it out, fussy cut it. Spooky Boo Eek. Oh, here's another example of a tag that something came on. I don't remember what this was for, but I loved the cat and I loved this little tag as well. So I thought I could probably figure out a way to use those again. Then I just have some more like crepe paper stuff, banners, this little, just things that have more of a specific shape to them, like, you know, bats, stars, skeletons, and all that goodness. So that's what I have left remaining from last year. So let me go ahead and put these containers away, and then I'll pull out the rest of what I had in my container. Okay, so I fibbed there just a little bit. I do have this set of stuff to go through, and then the last little bit that I have in that container are my papers. So let's go through this stuff first. One of my absolute favorite things to do in my October daily albums is to use treat bags as a way to add additional photos or tags or journaling because they make an awesome pocket. So I have a couple of leftover glassine bags, treat bags that just say Happy Halloween. And these are as simple as punching holes in them, sticking them in your album, and then you have a pocket to add additional stuff into. I also like these, what do I want to call them? They're craft. They are craft envelopes that are not envelopes, craft bags, treat bags. And so they're made out of paper. And what I like to do with these in order to do the same thing, add them into my book, but without so much bulk because these are thick. What I like to do with these types of bags is to take off the, what are these? The handles, to take off the handles and then to literally cut the front pocket right here and the back pocket right there, or a panel, let's call it that. The front panel and the back panel, and then to literally just adhere them together and hole punch it and stick it in my book. And then again, I've got this really awesome, and these I believe are just, they're 5x5, so they fit inside the 4x4 albums because you do have the additional room for the hole punches. So they're perfect. These are perfect, and I really like adding these. So I have a couple left over that are orange and black, so I've got stripes and polka dots. And then I also have a couple that say, these two say You've Been Booed, and this one says Spooky Squad. I actually really love the Spooky Squad sentiment, so I might use that one this year. And then we love booing our friends and neighbors and family, so we will probably end up using these to actually go and boo them. However, the backside is just spider web, so I could totally take the backside of that one and the backside of that one and make a spider web pocket. That's a thought. So we'll see what happens there. Last year, I believe it was last year, I also picked these up. So this is another thing that you can leave with a gift when you are booing somebody. If you don't know what that means, it's basically you put together a little package and leave it on their porch with a sign that says You've Been Booed. And then you give them another one, and they then have to go and boo one of their friends. So it's just a fun way to like pass on some holiday cheer, I guess, during the season. So I picked up two of them, and I thought that it would be really cute one of these years, not this year because I'm going to be doing my 4x4 album, but for one of these years to just take a couple of binder rings and binder ring this up and have this be the October daily. How cute would that be? So I don't know. I've had these in my stash with that idea for a little while, so we'll see if that ever happens. I also have a couple of these wood pieces, just wooden shapes. These are all for Dia de los Muertos because our family does celebrate that holiday. So I picked these up and figured that it's possible I may at some point use them in my album. Like this one could actually be really cool. I have a power punch, so I think it would punch through this, and then I could literally just add that in as a tag into my album. So we'll see. That could be an awesome idea for this year as well. So this little baggie is another product that, if it's still around, I highly recommend it. So this was a collection of words or phrases from Tim Holtz, and they are all kind of spooky related. So it came with this huge set. I used them last year. I gave some of these away, and I still have a ton of them. Things like foreboding or bewitched or elixirs and potions, dreadfully wicked, a strange thing happened. Like, there are so many in here, lost and found, that I will be using these probably for years. But it was definitely a great investment and another way to add some dimension and chipboard type texture into my album. So aside from all of that, I have stickers and I have papers. So for my stickers, I've got, actually this is not a sticker, but these are those You've Been Booed tags, which I got a couple sets of these last year and figured this could be just a tag to use in my album. So that's pretty cute. I need to add that to that tray that you guys saw earlier. These are just some larger ephemera pieces that don't fit in the tray, or that might not even fit inside the album that I use at all, just because mine is smaller. But if I ever do a larger album, these will definitely work great in that one. Then I've got my leftover stickers. So all of these are clear plastic stickers. These ones are cardstock. This is another set of clear stickers, and then there are these black sparkly stickers, which I will say that even though I love them, they do not stay on this sheet very well. So they are probably going to be all over everything in here. But these were all part of the Crate Paper sticker pad or sticker sheets from last year. I have a lot remaining and they're super cute. So let's see, how many I can get used of those this year. I also have a few leftover sets of puffy stickers. This one is from Ellie's Studio. I know it's not there anymore, but there are just a couple little sentiments left and a 31, which is really cool. So, those stay in the stash. Then I've got this set that's remaining from Crate Paper. A few icons. I really like the pumpkins here. So yeah, those I will probably figure out a way to use them. And then these are also puffy stickers, but they are from that Pebbles collection that I mentioned earlier. I believe it's called Happy Haunting. I could be wrong about that, but it's definitely not in stock anymore. These were from Michael's, and they are like gravestone stickers from Martha Stewart. So originally I purchased these to add onto some like creepy bottles to use as decorations, but then I threw the rest of them in here to use on projects if I wanted to. And the last two sticker sheets I have here are two really big ones that both came from the Target dollar aisle. I want to say 2 years ago, but it could have been last year. One of them is an orange burlap alphabet sticker, and one of them is a black like vinyl sticker. So both of them are awesome for the October Daily. The only problem with these is that they are huge, so I could probably only fit a 3-letter word into my 4x4 album, but we'll see. I'm hoping I can use some of these this year. Another thing you could do is use the initial for each person's name and then do maybe like some fun facts about like their costume or whatever it is that year. So that could be a fun way to use these. So let me put this away, and then I will get out that last little bit, which is just the paper from last year I have remaining. Okay, so the last thing that I have in that container from last year are all of my remaining papers. So here's what I have to work with that is outside of the collection that I am purchasing this year. I have some remaining 6x8 papers from the Hey Pumpkin Crate Paper collection. Things that, like this one, actually I couldn't even use in my album, and this year it doesn't line up that way. But I could fussy cut out the October and use that, or use portions of this, who knows. But these are not double-sided double-sided, they are single-sided, and I think I have at least one of each. That's really cute. But one of each paper remaining in here, in addition to like some scrap pieces that I had used last year, cut off pieces. Oh, see, there's one of those sticky pumpkins. We'll just leave you on here, whatever. This paper pad came from Michael's, and I super loved it for a couple of reasons. Like, that's really cool, and that's a 4x4 that I had cut and didn't use last year. But for a couple of reasons. One, it also gives me some more fun patterns that I can use, but it also had these 4x4 pages in here where I could cut them apart and slip these into one of the pockets in my album. Loved this mummy print. There are 2 of each paper. Some of them I've already used some, so there's not, you know, any left of that particular page, but some of them I have more than enough. This is another one where there are gravestones on here that I could totally fussy cut out and use on a page. I have 2 of those left. Haunted houses. So, you know, and here's another one of those 4x4 that I super loved, where it's skeletons and they're dressed up and that sort of thing. So I got it mostly for those and for a few of the patterns that I liked. This is another fussy cuttable page with all of the different artwork pieces that looks super cool. So, you know, and this one I could totally put in a frame and use it as decoration in the house, but the spiders are awesome too. So this one, I didn't use a lot of it. Let me see, it's Mischief Manor is what it is called, from last year's Michael's collection. Everything else that I have in here is just kind of scrap pieces that were left over. Some of them that I had fussy cut things out of, some of them that I just have in here as like layering pieces. So we're not going to worry about all of that. I do have a little bit remaining. So these are from the Midnight Haunting. Maybe that's what that collection's called, Midnight Haunting. This is a black and gray where it just has a bunch of repeated words like eek and boo, but I mean, come on, those are amazing. I love those ghosts. This one's got eyeballs, again, that Midnight Haunting paper, and then some orange on the back. This one is a spider web, which I never cut into, and I can't even believe that. Ooh, and spiders on the back. This one's called Creepy Crawly, also from Midnight Haunting. And then I also have a few of the patterned papers from Freckled Fawn from last year that I stuck in here. So the pumpkins and this like plaid, this yellow and orange tinted plaid, which is really great for a fall themed day in the album. So I am going to put everything back in my container, and then what I'm going to do is I will film an additional video showing you guys all of the products that I purchased from this year's collections. That is going to be mainly what I'm working with. All of the rest of this stuff you'll perhaps see make an appearance, and if by the end of the year I don't use it, or by the end of the season I don't use it, that'll be the stuff that I will look through and make executive decisions whether to keep or give it away, or, you know, do what I need to do with it in order to whittle it down. So that is going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed watching this unveiling of my product that I have remaining from last year, I would love a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can see all of my future crafty videos, and I will be back today. I'm gonna post the second video the same day as today with a video to show you guys all of the new stuff that I will be working with. So hopefully I will see you over there. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye now.